Let's talk about what happens when your heirs really inherit your mineral rights. What is that experience like for them? The experience varies to some degree, but I just want you to know that it isn't as easy of an experience and a transition as most mineral owners think. Most people think that they leave their property to their heirs, they sort of automatically get it, it should be easy to transfer the ownership and start receiving royalty checks. But it's not that easy. You need to transfer the ownership with probate or with a deed, and then your heirs have to actually go through and they have to request an ownership transfer from the operator. And that's not that complicated. The complicated situation is if the mineral owner lives in a different state than the minerals are located. And this is a really, really common scenario that comes up over and over again. Like, say for example, you have a mineral owner, Jane, who lives in Colorado, and her family has had minerals in Kansas for many generations because they were Kansas farmers. And when Jane passes away, she plans to leave her minerals to her two sons. But what none of them realize is that they're going to have to take Jane's estate through probate where she lives in Colorado. But then they're also going to have to do what's called an ancillary probate, or probating a foreign will, in every county where she owns mineral rights in Kansas. And it can be a really time-consuming and very costly process really is a better word for it. And most heirs do not realize that they can't transfer the ownership or sell the minerals or anything without going through this process. And usually you have to have an attorney help you. And there have been so many people that I've spoken with that are just really frustrated that they have to go through this. And a lot of them wish they had never been left these minerals because, especially if they're small minerals, they may not really be worth hiring an attorney and going through this whole ancillary probate process just to transfer the ownership on something that makes, $1,000 a year. So the smaller the minerals are, the more of a headache this feels like. So I've actually had a lot of people who have decided they're going to sell their minerals because they're putting their estate in order and they don't really want to do this to their children or their heirs. And so it's a choice that some people make. Other people put their estate in a trust or some other kind of legal instrument that is helpful. So I would definitely recommend that you speak to an attorney and about your particular situation and figure out what the best plan is, because there's so many mineral owners who are caught off guard by this, and they really had no idea what their heirs were going to have to go through and how big of a headache this would be. And it can be really hard too if you own minerals in multiple states. You just create a big mess in some ways. And if you've got very valuable minerals, people are always much more happy to receive those. But when they're small, sometimes it's best to sell them or donate them, or at least have a plan and make sure that your heirs know exactly what you own, even the non-producing minerals, and have a plan so that they know what to do, and maybe set aside money even so that they can go through this process. Make it easier for them.